tell me I'll never win. My body's wearing thin.
What's up, YouTube? So, it's been a little while since I've done a proper car review, and one of the most viewed videos on my channel of all time is me reviewing the old Audi Rs5. Well, today, thanks to Audi Central here in Houston, I've been given the chance to drive a brand new, and when I say brand new, I mean 38 miles on the clock, Audi Rs5. I've been dying to drive one of these, so it's cool that not only do I get to drive one, but I get to share my experience with you guys. I feel like I'm comfortable enough in it now that I can give you guys my opinions on this thing, and if it's actually worth the price, which is in this particular car, $81,000. It's a little strong for what it is, but I genuinely think it is worth it. This new car ditched the 4.2 liter V8 that I loved so much because the sound was insane in favor of a 2.9 liter V6 twin turboed. So I'm not sure how I feel about it, mainly because of the sound. I'm not against having turbos. My car is turboed. A lot of the cars I have owned are not naturally aspirated. I'm not against the turbos as much as I am against the sound. This does not sound like an RS car. It sounds more similar to like a stock GTR or maybe like a BMW M3 or something like that than it does your RS6, your RS7. There's a lot of little like gargles and stuff which are cool, and you can definitely hear the turbos way more than you can in my car, but the engine noise itself, definitely not my favorite. That also brings me to the disappointment that even though it's a brand new car, totally redesigned and rebuilt, the horsepower level has remained almost identical. I'm not sure if I agree with that. When you're coming out with a whole new car, new generation, even if it is faster because it's lighter and has a lot more torque, I think you still gotta bump the horsepower up a little bit. But my issue with the previous gen RS5, there was just never any power. It was a quick car, but you had to be so high up in the rev to get any kind of power out of the engine. So this car is almost 120 more torque than the previous generation car, making the 0 to 60, I think like a 3.8, somewhere in there. And you definitely feel it on the road. It's definitely much more usable than the previous car. Now with the added torque, stoplight to stoplight, it is a lot more fun in daily driving this thing. It's just a lot more usable power than it was before, if you can get over the sound. Enough about the specs. What's it like to actually drive this car? Specs are fun and all, but someone's always gonna have a faster car than you. For me, in my channel, if you've been watching, it's really all about the driving experience, right? Like if you're gonna pay $81,000, is it worth it, in my opinion, on a daily basis driving it? Do I get that excitement factor? And I definitely do, for a couple reasons. One, the handling is amazing. The Quattro system's really, really, really good. And the transmission, which I believe is an 8-speed automatic, and it's not even a dual clutch, it downshifts exactly where I want it to. It upshifts at like the last second, and it's really, really, really snappy, which is nice. I've had a couple cars that I just hate because the automatic mode's so bad. And something I complain about a lot in my car videos is when I go into manual, which I'm not entirely sure how to do in this thing. Does it feel like I'm actually doing anything when I click the paddles? Does it feel like an Xbox trigger? Or does it feel like I'm actually pulling some kind of linkage that's actually shifting? This is definitely a little on the Xbox side. It feels no different than clicking the volume knob or anything else, but it is super responsive, and that's almost more important to me. Is that when I click that button, does it shift or does it take a second? My Mercedes, while it is great, it doesn't do the greatest job of downshifting when I want it to. I'll pull the paddle and it takes it a second to realize what I'm doing and actually downshift. This has been really, really responsive so far, which already makes me like this transmission better. Note to self, don't ever try to review a car in Houston on a holiday. It's currently Good Friday, most people are off work, and there are so many cars out. It's just been nonstop traffic. Not an ideal situation to have this kind of car in. Like, this thing just wants to run, and I can't go anywhere with it. But you do end up in traffic sometimes in your sports car, and it's nice to know it's livable. It's super comfortable in here. I took it out of dynamic and put it in comfort mode. It's actually a lot smoother than my E is. This thing in comfort mode is like driving a normal A5, and then you put it in dynamic mode and it just wakes up immediately, stiffens up, hell of a lot more throttle response. I have no idea where I am. I'm just trying to stay out of traffic. Like, I don't even care where I'm going. I just want to go. And that's definitely a sign that I love this car, because I just want to drive it. I'm sick of sitting in traffic. I just want to go. The shifts are so fast. Like, it's just... Let's talk about competition here for a second. The C63S, which the new facelifted version just released this last weekend. And you also have the M4, which out of this and the M4, I'm going this every single time. Looks wise, out of the three, I'd probably go with this one. And handling wise, I've driven the new C63. I've driven the M4. I owned one. That's one thing I'll give Audi. The Quattro system is freaking brilliant. Like, I'm sitting here at 70 miles an hour, kind of pace carring back and forth in the lane. I'm sure everyone behind me thinks I'm crazy, but it just feels so comfortable to me. Normally it takes me a couple days to get to the point I'd be comfortable like throwing a car sideways, taking it to the track. This is a dealer car, I'm not gonna do that, but I 100%, if it was mine, would feel comfortable right now doing whatever I want with this thing. Like, it's such a well-engineered car. For the money, I don't know if the others come close. It's a really, really fun car to drive. One of my most viewed videos of all time is the old RS5, and I said something in that video that kind of stuck with my channel, and that was it. Sometimes the most fun cars aren't the fastest. My car is a perfect example. It's a shitload of fun, but you put your foot down for longer than 2 or 3 seconds, and you're moving at triple the speed limit, which it kind of takes away from the fun factor because you can't really open it up. I've already gotten 3 tickets, been in handcuffs once, and I've only had that car for a little over 2 months now. Whereas this, I can have fun in it. It puts a smile on my face, and I'm not really putting myself in a position I'm gonna go to jail. Am I going over the speed limit? Yes, but I'm not going so far over the speed limit that I'm gonna be in some serious trouble. I feel like they kind of took a little bit of a 911 and like transplanted it in this car. This drives so similar to something like a 911S or even a GTS. So the fact that $81,000 gets you a car that does 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, handles very similar to a Porsche, and looks great, I'm gonna say it's worth $81,000, which going into this, if you would have said, would you buy that car for 81, I would have said, hell no. I only have a limited amount of time with this car, and not really time, but miles. It is a brand new car that they're trying to sell, so they don't want me putting too many miles on it. Totally understandable. So I'm gonna head back, and we'll wrap the rest of this review up back at the dealership. So they had to put the car back in the showroom, so I'm gonna finish this out, trying not to be too loud, but I didn't go over the inside, so real quick, let's go through the interior of this thing. So as far as all the like infotainment and stuff goes, if you've dealt with any of the newer Porsches, pretty much identical. And from the old gen car, everything's updated. It just feels better. It's not as cheap feeling. Everything has like a very tactile feel. The all digital display up in the dash, similar to the R8. While I was driving it, different modes change, different dials, and you can put like navigation over here or music or whatever you want. Center console doesn't really exist. Back seats don't really exist. All in all, amazing interior. Definitely a nice place to be on a daily basis. Is it as bougie as my E-Class or the Mercedes? No. It's a lot more toned down, but I do like it better than BMW. It feels a little bit more premium. A lot of carbon fiber. Everything feels like it's in the right spot. It's not as plasticky as the BMW is. Let the comments flow in right now on how great BMW is. I'd put it right there with Porsche, where it's very functional, and that's not a bad thing. I don't necessarily need crazy lighting and massaging seats, which this does have. Is it worth $81,000? The interior, no. The engine, no. Even the looks, no. But all of it together as a package, as a daily driver, yeah, no questions asked. I'd buy this car for $81,000. It's really, really good. Alright guys, so back in the E, had a really great... Absolutely loved the RS5. That was a great ending to an already great week, was being able to drive that car all morning. Night and day, better than the last one. That's the first car I've driven since I bought the E that makes me think like there's actually some other cars out there that are maybe just as good as this for a lot less money. Also, huge thanks to Audi Central Houston, for letting me borrow that car for a little while. First link in the description box down below will take you to their website. If you have a car you're looking to get serviced, maybe you want a new car, I highly recommend them. And the second link will take you to my friend Devin's Instagram. He's a salesman there. If you see anything you like, you're just looking for something special, don't hesitate to reach out to him. Whenever the RS6 Avant comes to the US, I'll be buying one from him. But anyways, comment down below what you thought of the RS5. Personally, I loved it. Also, Devin informed me while I was there, they have a Nardo Gray RS7 they might be willing to let me borrow. So if you guys want to see me put an RS7 head to head up against the E63S, comment that down below. Hope you liked the video. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell so you see my next video. It's a 3-day weekend, so I think one more video this weekend. Maybe I'll put out next week. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.